If everyone is finally seated after gorging themselves on what is left of the snacks, we can finally discuss the final city on our list, the greatest city of them all, Hammerhal. I will admit I am a tad bit biased, as I was born there after all. But I am sure that after you hear of its wonders, you will be more than inclined to believe that no city, except for maybe Azersheim, represents the might and power of Sigmar better.
Hammerhal. You are the pride of Hammerhal, the sword and shield of Sigmar's greatest city. Raise your banners high and hold the line!
Soon after the Realm Gate Wars, when Sigmar made his presence known with the thunderous arrival of the Stormcast Eternals, he needed to choose his first stronghold, a place not only to act as a starting point for his reconquest of the mortal realms, but also as a symbol of order's return in a place that was so long in chaos's sway. He decided the center of this new stronghold would be the Storm Rift Realm Gate, an immense arcane pathway that provided passage between the Realm of Fire, Akshai, and the Realm of Life, Gairan, and situated in ideal positions in each realm for exploration, exploitation, and expansion. Of course, taking that point wasn't without its difficulties, for the area was occupied by the savage forces of the Uroks of both the Bone Splitter and Iron Jaw tribes. Why were these two usually combative tribes of Uroks working together? Well, as is usually the case for these idiotic creatures, their reasoning was imbecilic. They believed that the Storm Rift Realm Gate was a literal part of their god, Gorka Morka, calling the Realm Gate Mork's Maw. If Gorka Morka did have a say in the matter, Sigmar would prove to have a much more persuasive argument. No fewer than 30 chambers of numerous storm hosts, but spearheaded by the hammers of Sigmar, the first forged and most honored of storm hosts, launched an attack on those green-skinned buffoons. It was a brutal conflict, as any conflict with the greenskins eventually becomes. But afterwards, when those Uroks were driven off, the area was fully in Sigmar's hand. The Hammers of Sigmar, in honor of their accomplishments, gained guardianship of the soon-to-be city. Near the Realm Gate's mouth, they built their Stormkeep, the Perspicarium, the grand fortress keeping constant vigil over both sides of the gate, standing watch against the many enemies that would wish to take the city away from the righteous. Hammerhal, although one city, is technically two settlements, one on either side of the Realm Gate. It's what gives the city its nickname, the Twin-Tailed City. The settlement in the Realm of Fire is Hammerhal Akshai. It is a fortified industrial bastion, bursting with defenses and factories. The settlement in the Realm of Life is Hammerhal Gyra, a bountiful garden and agricultural powerhouse. These two settlements have a sort of symbiotic relationship. Rivers of Magmar are moved from Akshai through the Realm Gate to Gairan, using sluiceways that eventually form a molten moat around the Gairan side, keeping the rather stubborn jungle vegetation out of the city and acting as another layer of defense against possible attack. In return, Hammerhal Gyra provides plentiful grain, meat, and water to Hammerhal Aksha's inhabitants. It is a wonderful symbol of two differing realms working together to become a stronger whole. The city is a sanctuary for many in the mortal realms, and every faction has a place within its walls. For example, Darkling covens thrive in its grimmer corners. Wanderers patrol the Gairan side, living in nomadic caravans and treetop camps. Dispossessed are prized for their construction capabilities, and can be found in a cog force that monitor the city's walls, and slowly expand the city's boundaries over time. They and many more peoples can be found throughout the city, especially around the Great Chasm in the city's center, the natural chasm acting as a trade route and expressway, constantly traveled by sky cutters and the winged battle mounts of the Sylvaneth. With so many entering and occasionally leaving the city is in a constant state of flux. Places like trade posts and even entire districts gaining and losing importance over time. Sadly, this makes it impossible to house so many properly. There are smaller areas, like the noble quarters, that are kept stable and relatively clean, but millions more citizens of the Twin-Tail City live in crime-ridden slums. For example, the Cinderfall District and the gloomy warrens of Blackwood Town are notorious for criminal activities. If you ever find yourself in Hammerhal Lane after midnight, make sure to carry a weapon. As unfortunate as it is that the prosperity of the city birthed these slums, the harsh conditions does make the people in those slums rather hardy, making many of them ideal soldiers. Many a street rat has grown to prominence under the banner of the Free Guild Guard. To be protected by the hammers of Sigmar, the greatest of the storm hosts, is a great honor to all who live within it. And all who take up the sword work diligently to be worthy of such protection, aiming to, if not equal the prowess of the Stormcast Eternals, at least be skilled enough to be worthy of their respect. Because of this, there is a strive for martial excellence and honorable conduct that permeates all of our military forces. Each of the 7 military guilds that handles the city's armies are descended from one of the ancient tribes that Sigmar brought with him to the realms of heaven before the gates of Aegir closed, so it is no wonder they feel a sort of special connection to the Stormcast Eternals. Hammerhal's standing armies are amongst the largest and best equipped in all of the mortal realms. The city's high population and diverse peoples allow them to field any specialist formation they would need in any given battle. They take great pride in their military prominence and stubborn resolve. The best example of this is the Gold Jackets, the proud line infantry of the Free Guild in Hammerhal, who are called to hold the line against impossible odds that they conquer with great strength of will and determination. Their pride is best known in the Gold Jackets' reverence for their battle standards. Battle standards woven with Hessian suncloths and stitched with the skins and bones of martyrs inspire the Gold Jackets by their very presence. To have a banner taken, damaged, or destroyed is considered a disgrace, and has only happened once in recent history. The shamed military unit, the Griffin Spears, led a doomed charge against the Uruk horde 8 times its size to get back a standard those barbaric Uruks had taken from them. And although they failed and lost their lives, they regained their pride, and stories of their forlorn charge is still being told in the taverns outside military barracks to this day. Of course, all this military strength and martial pride would be useless without wise minds to properly guide them, and that's where the Academy Marshal comes in. Outside of Aezerheim, the Academy Marshal is the greatest college of war and strategy in the mortal realms. The Dragoon Generals of Hammerhal are the elite graduates of this school, commanding heavy cavalry regiments mounted on demigryphs, and famous for their aggression and daring do, known to wear flamboyant sashes, towering helms, and perfectly styled facial hair. Well, that is the end of my presentation on the possible cities available to you in the mortal realms. Choose wisely, because although we wish to ensure the happiness of all of our citizens, we don't really have the time and resources for people to have a sudden change of heart. You will only have this one chance, to ride in a caravan to your chosen city under the protection of a chamber of Stormcast Eternals. Not many people have this chance, and many die traveling through the realms on their own. This decision may be the most important one you will ever face in your life, and will affect the fates of you and your descendants for decades, if not centuries to come. Anyway, you have 10 minutes to decide. The next group will be coming in soon, and we are running a little late. In hindsight, having all those snack breaks might not have been the best idea. Oh well. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this 3rd video on the cities of Sigmar, specifically Hammerhal. If you like it, please like, subscribe, comment, press that little bell so you know when I'm going to post. And if you really like it, please consider giving to my Patreon or my Ko-fi account. The extra money gives me the time I need to work on these stories that I love. Anyway, thanks for listening/watching, and see you next time.